Welcome back to Ferocious Education, this is Ed. Today we're going to be talking about Lightning eMotors. Now in this video we're going to be talking about due diligence, technical analysis, and what I think about this one. So this one here debuts on the market as ZEV, or as Americans pronounce it, ZEV. Let's jump right into this one. So Lightning eMotors, there is some news that was actually put out today relating towards an agreement of up to $850 million in zero emission bus technology plus charging products and services with their Forest River multi-year agreement. So we can discuss this a little bit, but first off, I do want to dive into towards their outlook and their Q1 2021 updates, a few lines here and there. So first one here is that the company is pleased to report a revenue of $4.6 million and sales of 31 zero-emission commercial vehicles across 5 specialty vehicles application. Now the important thing I do want to talk about here is the 4.6 million and the increase that you're getting. So subsequent to the end of the first quarter, Lightning System completed the business combination with Gig Capital 3 Incorporations, which resulted in 268 million of gross proceeds and 216.8 million of net proceeds to Lightning eMotors balance sheet. And Giga Capital 3 has been renamed to Lightning eMotors. Now a little bit further into that, you're able to see that there is a backlog at quarter end of $169 million in sales pipeline of around $807 million respectively. Now that news was put out on May 17, 2021, talking about a sales pipeline of around $807 million. Now, in terms of this latest news that we're talking about in relations to around the $850 million, so Lightning and Forest River, a Berkshire Hathaway company and the largest shuttle bus manufacturing in North America, entered into strategic partnership, and Lightning is going to deliver around 7,500 zero-emission Class 4 and Class 5 buses across the US and Canada between 2021 and 2025. And Lightning is to provide fully electric powertrains, charging products, and services. Now, the results of this one here will be $850 million over multi-year, so probably somewhere between 2021 and 2025. So that is divided into, I would say, around 4 years, let's say 4 years, and let's give it $200 million a year in sales. In addition towards what they've gone before, you're able to see that that market cap is becoming in a bit more realistic, because you do need profit, of course. This company currently has a price over sales of 37.72. If it was to reach that $200 million a year, you're going on to around, I would say, 2. And 2 is a lot better than 37. Take a look into the SP5 or SP500 price to sales ratio. That is 318. So if you were to reach with that $850 million and the 807 pipeline, let's say somehow you get around $200 million a year, you're able to see that it would be undervalued, and even with the current price at 1020, but you're able to see as well that the price over book here is 473 in comparison to this company where it's reported on Finviz to be 0.25. So that's underrated on the price over book side of things. Before moving on further, if you would like to see more contents like this, make sure to click the subscribe button and leave notifications on. Also, don't forget to drop a like if you actually enjoyed this video, and you can join our Discord totally free in the description below. Now, they do also have their presentation posted for June 2021 as a part of their analyst days. So let's take a look into some of these people here. So first off, the founder and CEO has 25 years of technology CEO experience and founded and led multiple IT and clean tech companies with successful funding and exit. Their CTO has 35 years of automotive engineering and manufacturing experience, and he is the former VP of Advanced Engineering at Borg Warner. So some of the things here we want to take a look first at is the executive overview. So they focus on urban and commercial ZEV versus purpose-built electric vehicles for both Class 3 7 BEV and FCEV, so between Class 3 and Class 7. Modular proprietary architecture, blue chip customer bases with 10 years of research and development with strategic partnerships including Ford and other names, around 2 years of head start in production and customer validation with more than 140 vehicles on the road and more than 1,500 vehicles on order. Now, in terms of the general thing here, medium duty vocational trucks, shuttle buses, that's around the $67 billion market, and that's the one they're really trying to go for. Now, in terms of different classes, you're able to see how they compare. Now, they don't do class 1 to 2 cargo and work or class 1 to 2 shuttle, which is the US annual market size is around 150K for the first and 15K for the second. They go for a really more of an undressed or unaddressed market. So you're able to see class 3 all the way to 7, all these X's between Ford, even Workhouse, other bigger names as well, such as GM, even Arrival, don't really address that market itself. So that's definitely a market that is not massively addressed, and there is potential there. And in terms of what they do, they have three main parts: Lightning eMotors, Lightning Energy, and Lightning Capital. So for Lightning eMotors, they have commercial ZEVs, where they literally the main product we were talking about here, and then Lightning Energy, which is basically charging as a service, and Lightning Capital, which is more relating towards financing and financing other fleets as well. And in terms of optimized modular design, address diversified opportunity, that's why they're going between class 3 all the way to 8. There's different applications for each class, well, hence they have their own class, and that would be the addressable market they're going for. So first off, they primarily build new purpose-built electrical vehicles. So for 2021 estimated, they're anticipating around the new purpose-built electric commercial vehicles to be 80% of the production, repower 10%, and OEM powertrain to be 10%. Now, they do have a vast amount of customers that were there. Lightning eMotors enjoys over 50% market share in the electric vehicles across class 3 to 7 based on trucks shipped in the US in 2020 and in the first quarter of 2021. And you're able to see some of the total addressable fleet of the 487,000 vehicles today, and the majority of them are in states of California, and then after that it comes in towards DHL, US logistics operators, Amazon, and US fleet operators. Now, I do believe this is actually 100,000, not 10,000. I think there's a misunderstanding there in the writings. Otherwise, why would they just put it up there? I'm not sure. Moving on from there, medium volume and high customization, and other specifically more of keywords and other information that I don't want to go through today, but I do want to take a look a little bit further into their manufacturing and production overview. So first off, they're already in production with projected scaling of capacity to 3,000 units. So first off, they got manufacturing powertrains and powertrain components, assemble vehicles, testing, and integration. Now, other things as well in terms of details of their manufacturing processes, but you're able to see that some of their leveraging off networks across the US, almost from coast to coast. So they have chassis partners, GM, Ford, and Hino, labeled here in blue. In orange, it's the battery partners, and in purple or lavender, vehicle body partners. And in terms of markets, so you're able to see that some of their fleet targets includes FedEx, Google, Amazon, Walmart, Microsoft, Unilever, and DHL. Now, there's also some regulations and mandates that perhaps would help that ZEV market or EV market in general. So for instance, California ACT regulation here has a minimum ZEV requirement starting in 2024, ramping up to 100% by 2045. 15 states MOUs representing 50% of the US economy and 40% of goods moved, 30% zero emission sales by 2030, ramping to 100% by 2050. In California transit rule, for instance, minimum ZEV purchase requirements starting in 2023, ramping up to 100% by 2029. And California airport shuttles, for instance, 33% buses must be zero emissions by 2027, and 2035 it would be 100%. Biden administration directive for 100% zero emission federal fleet and zero emission zones across 30 cities and growing, led by London and St. Monica. Now, there is some grants as well towards that, and there is some fleet targets by the fleets themselves. So it does really show you the market share itself and the addressable market that they're going for. Again, this is the same exact presentation or chart that we showed earlier today, and a little bit more information, but I think that will do it for today. Now, in terms of the full year guidance, just a quick thing, they're anticipating $50 to $60 million with a gross margin of -2% to -4%. So that's an adjusted operating loss for the year. So they are anticipating quite a sizable negative or anticipated loss in general, -$35 to -$39 million for adjusted operating loss is not sizable. It is significant because their entire market cap is around 489 million, and they're making a loss of around -$35 to $39 million for the anticipated 2021 guidance. And in terms of institutional buyers, there's not a lot to talk about. There is some additions, some dispositions or divesting from this company, but it's nothing special to talk about where you see a mass exodus or a mass addition in either side. You also see that insiders aren't as active as you would think. Now, from a technical analysis perspective, what we're getting to see here is on the 1 month, 1 day, a very strong bullish action that is giving the 80x a suggestion, for instance, the average directional index, that it might be a start of a trend. It's bullish on all the moving averages, and it's above all the moving averages. And in terms of the willing percent R, it's getting closer towards the overbought, which only means that there's a lot more buyers than sellers today. On the MACD, that's a very bullish move, and the MACD itself does suggest that this could be a multi-day run. In terms of momentum, it's at 440, and it's really showing you a very strong move at the 443. Now, on the stochastic fast and stochastic slow, both are pinpointing upwards, but not suggesting that this could be more of a top for it. And on the moving average band, it broke every moving average band, and volumes are on a record today. So what does that mean? Well, if you take a look into the unbalanced volume, we're able to see that this one is bought at unprecedented levels. Now, it's way above the moving averages. Usually that's an indication that there might be a drop the next day. Take a look at every single time it jumped above those bands, the purple bands. They drop back down below. So we can anticipate perhaps that in the next few days, it will probably stabilize closer towards the $8.66 to the $9. In terms of the chart, we can try to go ahead and start pinpointing at least first off Fibonacci retracements. And on the Fibonacci retracements going all the way down to the 584 level, we're able to see here that on this level, there's a significant support at the 1024, below there 856, and below there 584. On the resistances, 1160, 1296, 1489, and 1736. Now on a price line action, we see a very critical support at the 1050. Below there, looking down to the 1028, below there, 1007, below there, around 946, going down to the 905, going down to around 873, and then down below towards 821, and then down to around 780, and then going all the way down to 722, and then 680, and then down towards the 639, and to the 618. Now on the resistance part, we're able to see that there is a very strong critical resistance on the 1099, above there 1194, going to 1276, 1320, and then 1367, going to 1443, and then up to 1516, and then up to 1596, going to 1632, and then from there on 1674, and then around 1721, 1736, and really no idea where to go afterwards. There wouldn't be much resistance. In terms of analyst ratings, the last one was yesterday. They were giving a buy without any price target. This person's success rate is 67% with an average return of around 30%. The next person here, that was 5 days ago, they initiated a sell position with a price target of $6. This is Bank of America, and it's an unknown analyst, so they're not really mentioning here. Last month, it was $15 at a buy, and this person's success rate is 45% with average return of 4%. The next few are $15 to $14 to $16, all with buy, respectively 63% success rate and average return of 65 for the dollar price target. For the 14, 38%, an average return of 15%, and 5 months ago, Fox Advisors gave it $16 price target with a buy. All in all, it's a moderate buy with 4 buys and 1 sells, and an average price target of $12.50, still a bit higher on where it is. Now, today it topped around, let's say, $12.16, and the anticipation is that tomorrow, for the most that can happen if volume still dry down a little, is that it probably would jump just a little bit higher and then get a red candle. So very similar to what you see previously with these massive green candles, is that they do accumulate in the next few days if they don't drop below. And I do believe that that accumulation rate will be somewhere closer to the 9 to the 943 level. That's where the next significant support level goes on. And then there's the 991 to the $10. So above $10, it is a pre-SPAC level price, so that could be a bit more fair, but it did see a little bit of its drop. Now, when I think about this one, I do think it's a risky play, and I do think it might actually see a multi-day run, but I do anticipate volumes to dry down a little and see more of a accumulation towards the $10 if it doesn't drop. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure to share down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.